taking over the world, one nerd at a time. Total Nerd Takeover.
Hello, Chris Gray from Total Nerd Takeover Studios, and today I will be doing an unboxing and review of one of my favorite microphones in the galaxy. This is the Audio-Technica ATR2100-USB microphone. It's probably my second favorite podcasting microphone in the galaxy. And I'll tell you right now, I want to give you a comparison. I'm talking to you on a Heil PR40 microphone, which goes anywhere from $320 to $400, depending on where you buy it. Now, this microphone, the Audio-Technica ATR2100 USB microphone, right now it retails for about $55, give or take. I've seen it on Amazon anywhere from $50 to $109. However, when I first bought this microphone, not this particular microphone, but microphones for some of my hosts for the podcasts, I paid about $40, $42 per microphone. So at $42 a microphone, at $50 a microphone, honestly, even at $100 a microphone, these things are fantastic. Now I'm going to unbox it and show you guys what you get in the kit, and I'm going to plug it into my mixer and let you guys have a listen. Okay, so I took the liberty of unboxing the Audio-Technica ATR2100 USB microphone out of the box, and I arranged all the stuff on the desk here, and I'm just going to show you guys what comes in the kit. So firstly, you have your instructions, and I do want to mention that the Audio-Technica microphone will work for PC and Mac. I've tested this microphone on both. A lot of my podcast hosts on my shows use this microphone, and some are using Macs, some are using PCs. And I believe that this will even work with a camera connection kit in an iPad, which I'm going to try in another video later down the road. But the first thing I noticed, the first thing you get is this instruction manual. And inside, it will show you how to connect, what settings to choose for a Mac or a PC. I don't need it, so off on the floor it goes. Now you have a USB microphone, or a USB cable to a micro USB, so you can use this microphone with a computer. Now, that's what makes this microphone so versatile for podcasting. You don't have to have a mixer. You can just use the microphone by itself. Here's the microphone on its own, and this is a dynamic microphone, and it's a front-firing microphone. So when you speak into the microphone, you want to talk in directly to the front, or you want to talk across the top, depending on your style. Little piece of plastic that's on here to protect this nice aluminum finish, and it has a little bit of weight to it. I've used this microphone before, and like I said, it is the second best microphone for podcasting next to the Heil PR40. It is a nice aluminum finish, and on the bottom here you have an XLR connection and the micro USB connection, and you have a 3.5 millimeter jack spot for headphones. And the reason why is so that you can plug in when you're hooked up and you can monitor your audio. That's important if you're podcasting. You want to be able to monitor your audio so you can hear your highs and lows, and you can also have an idea of what you sound like going into a recording. It's very important. And there is a volume adjuster right here as well. This is all built into the microphone. That's what makes this such a powerful tool. Such a great microphone for a startup podcast, even for a podcast that's been out for a while. You're looking for a different sound. I love this microphone. I think it sounds fantastic, and we're going to hook it up in just a minute. On the front is a off and on switch. When you turn it on, there's a little LED light that'll light up here blue when you're plugged into LED or with a USB. And it's just such a versatile mic. So I got this one for $55. $55 for a great mic, or you can spend almost $400 for an even better mic. And a lot of my co-hosts tell me that they have a hard time hearing the difference between the Audio-Technica and my Heil PR40. So that's the main part of the kit, is the microphone. The next part that you get is this XLR cable. It's a male and female. So one end would plug into a mixer. One end, this end here, would plug into the microphone. The male end plugs into the microphone. The female end would plug into a mixer, or if you get you can get a signal converter. I think Icicle makes one, and you can plug it in to your computer. Although you won't need that because this already has the built-in USB. So you can switch as you grow with your podcast, as your quality grows, as your levels grow. You may need a mixer down the road. Now you can plug it in with the XLR cable, and I believe it's a 10-foot cable. Next, we have a stand. Now the stand is kind of cheap, but I mean, what do you expect? It's a $50 microphone, and you're not really buying it for the stand. Here's a little stand, and it just has these little feet that open up, so you can sit on your desk just like that. Now to hold the microphone is this microphone clasp, I call them. I don't know what the technical term is, but that's what I call it, a clasp. And this is all plastic, so it's pretty cheap. But again, we don't really care about that. This is good. It is good, though, on the fly. Everything's very light, so you can put it in a bag if you need to podcast out on the road or you need to record anything on the road. And just sits like this, and the microphone just slides in here to this plastic clamp. And you can sit on your desk, and now you have a desk mount. Now, one thing I want to tell everyone about this is when you have this sitting on the desk and you bang on the desk or you type, you're going to hear it. The sound is actually, there's vibrations that will work its way up through the legs into the microphone and into your recording. So that being said, when you use this microphone, there's a couple of things you can do. One, you can put the keyboard on your lap and type very quietly, because if it's facing this front direction, you might hear it as well because it's front firing microphone. Or you can get a piece of foam, like a soft piece of a cushiony foam, and you could rest it on there. It would help, anything that will help absorb the vibrations. Because, and I say this because I went through this a couple of times. When I first started podcasting, I was using this Audio-Technica mic for our very first episodes. And it was fantastic, except for the fact that every time I had to make a move, or I had to move something on the desk, or I had to type to look something up, you would hear da-da-da-da-da-da, you would hear that banging noise. So what I was looking for this microphone was a shock mount. Now, if you're looking at my Heil PR40, you'll see that it has this weird contraption holding the microphone. It's actually suspending it using like rubber strapping. I don't know if you can see that real well. And that's so I can move the microphone around, tap on my desk, and you can't really hear anything. So you won't hear the vibration going up through this microphone arm into the microphone. I looked high and low for a shock mount for this mic. So what I tried, Audio-Technica makes a shock mount for a shotgun microphone, but it didn't fit properly on the microphone, and it wasn't made that good, and you could still hear banging, unfortunately. So that was a fail. However, this will work really good for a beginning startup. Just put a piece of foam under the bracket and try not to bang so hard, and that'll make a big difference. So let's plug this microphone in using an XLR cable into my mixer, and I'm going to switch the audio and see how it sounds. Okay, so now you're listening to my voice through the Audio-Technica ATR2100. And as you can hear, it has a beautiful sound. It is a very good microphone. So if you can pick this microphone up from $50 to $100, I think it's well worth it. It's a very versatile mic. Like I said, it gives you the option to grow. So you can plug it into a mixer later on down the road, or if you're doing a regular podcast where you're by yourself, you want to plug it into a USB laptop or into an iMac or a MacBook Pro or whatever. And like I said, I think it'll even plug into a iPad, which we're going to try in another video later on down the road. So now I'm going to switch between the two microphones, between the Audio-Technica and the Heil PR40, so you can hear the difference in sound. Okay, so right now you're listening to the Audio-Technica, and I'm going to do a test 1 2, test 1 2. And now you are listening to the Heil PR40, test 1 2, test 1 2. And now I'm going to switch back over to the Audio-Technica, test 1 2, test 1 2. That's another brilliant thing about having a mixer. And if you want to check out my mixer video, tnrt.tv, and you can check out my mixer video down below. It should be listed somewhere down there. Great video if you're interested in the reasons why you might want one for a podcast and why not. So I hope that video was helpful. One thing to keep in mind, I almost forgot to mention this, but on the microphone itself, there's a switch, an on-off switch. Make sure when you're plugged into an XLR, as well as if you're plugged into USB, that you turn that switch on. A few more things I want to mention before I wrap this video up. When you get this microphone, you might want to get one of these little pop filters. I got this pop filter for, I think it was $2.99 on Amazon. It's made by OnStage Stands. It's very inexpensive. It's just a foam ball that will cover over the microphone. And what that's for is to protect your audience when they're listening back from explosives or plosives, as they're called, like P's and T's. Also, it's to help keep you from breathing directly into the microphone. Another trick, like I mentioned before, is you can talk across the front of the microphone face. And remember, this is a dynamic microphone, so you want to speak directly into the front of it, or you can also speak across the front of it. Either way, as long as you're doing that. Now, I just tapped the microphone, and you probably heard some noise. So if I brace yourselves, I'm also going to tap the desk. You probably heard that, right? Well, you didn't hear it earlier on my Heil because of the shock mount. So there is no shock mount on here. And I could not find a shock mount that fit, so you'd either have to custom make one or get a piece of foam, or be very, very careful when you're holding the microphone or when you're using it and when you're typing again. Okay, so I've been Chris Gray from Total Nerd Takeover Studios. You can find out everything that we do. We do a lot of different kinds of podcasts at tnerdT.com. Also, check us out on iTunes. Just do a search in iTunes for TNerdT, or even in Stitcher, or wherever you get podcasts. Just do a search for TNerdT and all of our shows will come up. And of course, if you like this video, like it down below and subscribe. If you have any questions or feedback, put it down below. You guys know where to do it. And I'll see you guys next time for another video.